Hello, we're about to change the starter motor, so we're going to first disconnect the battery. We'll take an 8mm and disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. There you go, it's disconnected. Now we're safe from any electrical shot. Let's move on to taking off the wheel. I'm using the factory tool. Pop off the cap. Get to your lug. I'm going to break them off free on the ground. I'm going to break them off free while it's still on the ground. And I'm going to jack it up, take the wheel off. Let's do it. Jacked up the truck. Remove all the lug nuts. It's an older truck. Takes a little bit longer to get the lug nuts off. Alright, they're all off. Take the wheel off. There's the starter motor. Hard to see, but it's back moving. So if you go through the passenger side tire well, you get the starter motor. It's hard to see. There it is. That's the original starter motor on my truck. Let's get this thing taken out. If you go underneath the truck, on the passenger side tire well, there's the starter right up there. Just gotta disconnect the electrical connectors and take the starter out. So we gotta take that bolt loose. And then we gotta come over here. We gotta take that red cap off and then take those bolts loose. So I'm gonna take off the red cap. So I took off the protective red cap. Now I'm gonna take off the bolts. Loosening up the bolts. Thank goodness they're coming off pretty easy. Alright, the first bolt I took off was a 13 mil, and this one's going to be a 10 millimeter. Take the 10 mil off. Remove the wire. We gotta remove this wire. So we're gonna take this stud out. It's a 13 millimeter. I found that too short 3/8 drive extensions give me enough clearance to get my ratchet far enough back where I can get this off. So I'm gonna loosen this stud. It's coming. Before you start wrenching on the bolt, move these wires over these transmission lines so these wires aren't pressing against these hoses. So put it right over top of these tubes and start unbolting it, because you do not want to damage these transmission lines. Alright, we got this loose. I can just pull it out. Well, there's two bolts, one on the top, one on the bottom. So you gotta get those two bolts off to get the starter out. So those are the two bolts we will be working on. 13 millimeter, we'll get them out. So if you have a long extension, with a swiveling adapter, you can make this job a lot easier. You can come in through the wheel well, go all the way down, and get to that bolt right there. And get on that bolt. And come all the way back through the wheel well, and you can work right here. A lot easier than having to fight that small gap. You can have a lot of room to work in. And just work from the wheel well. And we're getting it. Makes the job a lot easier. The right tools. But both ways will work. Use a long extension to get to the top bolt way back there. Bolt's coming out pretty easy. It's not as stuck as some of the other ones. Get it all the way out. Out. The starter is almost completely removed. I gotta get that last bolt out. I left it in. So it was stuck up there, seized up there. I just wiggled it and popped it, and it finally came loose. So it might be just seized up in there. Just take the starter out. It'll just work its way down to you. Slowly around everything. get it out. And there we go. Old starter. Here's the new starter. Picked it up from Advanced Auto Parts. It's a CarQuest remanufactured starter. So let's put this thing in, get this thing running. Up under the truck. Work the starter back up. If you hold the solenoid down by your thumb, you just slide it in, and it should slide right back in like that. And just gotta get it bolted up. Put this one bolt in to hold it into place. This stud. Alright, I'm gonna go on top. This bolt back in. Line up the starter. Got the top bolt tightened up. Coming through the side wheel well. Gonna put this stud back in with the ground wire. And the bottom mounting bolt, or mounting stud. The bottom mounting stud also holds the ground wire. So I just gotta tighten that back up. And you'll be finished with mounting it. Couple more turns and it'll be completely tight. Now I'm going to put the wires back on. Pretty simple. Small wire goes on the small stud. Big wire goes on the big stud. Your wire on. And you got a lock washer. When you drop it, you always have to drop stuff first. Put your lock washer on. Put your 10 mil. Tighten up your 10 millimeter. And take off the nut to the other connector. Take off the lock washer. on your wire. Put on your wire. Put on the lock washer. Put on your nut. So the remanufactured starter, it's still a 10 millimeter on the small nut, but they changed the big nut to a 14 millimeter. So you will need a 14 millimeter on the big nut if you get this CarQuest remanufactured starter. Always a pain when you're laying up under the car and you have to go get another socket, but it is what it is. We're almost done. Alright, all the wires are connected. Everything's tight. Hooked back up. I'm gonna put this protective factory cover back on. So it goes, put the cover on like so. Protects the connections. There it is. Snug. Snaps on. Good to go. Put the wheel back on. We're done. I'll snug them up with the wrench. Go diagonally. A star pattern on a 5-lug. And once I got them snug, alright, I'm going to lower it down a little bit. So the wheel's touching the ground. Tighten it up. Do the star pattern. Use a torque wrench to torque the wheels. Put the center cap on. Good to go. Reconnect the battery. Battery snug. Let's fire it up. Just put in the starter. I'm gonna fire it up. There it goes. Running like a champ. Starter installed, back on the road. I hope this helped you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel.